What's up guys, X7X back here again for another tutorial video. I'm going to be showing you guys how to clean an SNES controller or Super Nintendo controller. I got this controller back like around a month or two ago, I'm not sure, and I haven't even tested it out, to be honest. So I'm just going to be showing you guys how to clean one, and it's going to be smooth sailing. But yeah, you're going to be using the same tools as before. A Phillips head screwdriver or a flathead one. It can be this Husky brand one, it doesn't have to be. Make sure it's a red one if you do have it, or if you're planning to get it, or just a regular flathead screwdriver that you can get anywhere. But it's really small. Here's one that I'm working on right now. I'm just letting it air dry, and after this video I'm going to put it back together. Here's one that I cleaned up. It doesn't take much to clean these up. You can pretty much, well, I recommend now, this is pretty much the primary option, or pretty much the thing I would recommend, just washing it in a sink. And that sucks, it's upside down. But there you go, Super Nintendo controller case that I've just cleaned up. Now, this one was actually not even dirty at all, I just wanted to clean it up. You can tell it's a official Super Nintendo controller because I haven't seen any hardcore close to the original clones of the controllers. You can tell from the noise of the plastic, and this just right here. Just make sure it's like really pretty much thick plastic. Same thing with this, it's pretty thick. But anyways, yeah, let me get started real quick. I've just gotten off topic, so I'm just gonna open it up real quick. You can tell it's a non-open controller. If it snaps, like you can hear plastic snap, which means it's a good thing actually. So that means no one has ever tampered with it, like that. So I'm just going to cut here and then I will show you guys afterwards, so stay tuned. Alright guys, back once again. Now, once you've unscrewed all your screws, you can pretty much pick up the back portion of the controller enclosure. There's 5 screws in total. Make sure you set this aside along with the screws so you don't lose any of them. Now this is pretty awesome. I'm not sure if Nintendo did this purposely, but you can pretty much exchange the controller cables. Let's say this controller did not work, this portion did not work, the buttons, none of the buttons did not work, even though I've cleaned them thoroughly, and they still did not work. And this cable was in great shape. There was no rips or tears or nothing by any animals or just abuse over the years. You can pretty much swap these out. I got 2 controllers with it. I'm just going to use this as an example. Let's say this did not work, and the other controller did work, but it worked half of the time because there was actually a rip in the controller cable. This is actually kind of thick rubber, but some rats do bite through it, or any animals will probably bite your controller cable over the years or whatever. I'm just going off topic, but let's say there was abuse to it, whatever. You can pretty much swap out these cables from here. I'm not sure if Nintendo did this on purpose, but it's pretty awesome. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Do it real quick. So pretty much this is the same step. You don't have to do this if you're just cleaning your controller. So pretty much gently just kind of tug it a little bit. You don't really have to, just lift it up. Now I'm going to show you guys how to pretty much swap out the cables or whatever. Now you don't have to use, well, you're gonna have to kind of use some force, not too much, like not really hardcore, like you're lifting up a truck or nothing. So you're gonna use either your thumbs or a screwdriver, a flathead one if you want. But I'm just gonna be using my thumbs and thumbnails. So you're gonna pretty much push. There's actually 2 different on the same sides, or 2 different sides, opposite sides. There's actually like a little gap that you can pretty much fit your nail through. I'm just gonna kind of push up, and there you go. So that's pretty awesome that Nintendo did this. I'm not sure if this works for third-party controllers or if they're built the same way or manufactured the same way. So I wouldn't really waste my time on a third-party controller just because they're garbage. They'll never work as long as well, they're not really durable as much as the original controllers. So I'm just gonna put this back in place. Sorry guys if you guys had to watch this part if you're not even interested in it. And all you have to do to snap it back in is just snap it back in. And there you go. Let me just make sure it's sit in place. And it is not, so that's a good thing I checked. And there you go. Hopefully you guys saw that on camera. Just make sure it clicks. So let's get started again. Once again, so pretty much you're gonna lift it up from this piece. Well, these two pieces on the back or on the bottom. Sorry about that. So pretty much pick it up from the bottom piece and go more up on the top corners and lift it up. And there you go. Now be very careful with this. This is actually very kind of fragile. There's two wires soldered onto the buttons. These are the shoulder buttons or L and R buttons. So make sure you're really gentle with them. So just set this aside. And there you go. That's pretty much the enclosure. Well, I mean not the enclosure. The rest of the buttons and stuff. So you can pretty much take these out. This is the rubber pieces. Just you can pretty much wash this to the we'll wash these in the sink or whatever. So I'm just gonna throw these over. Just gonna flip it over. And there you go. There's actually two metal pieces which you do not want to lose. They attach to the shoulder buttons, or they pretty much go through them and sit in place in the case enclosure. And that's pretty much what they do on. That's what it kind of rocks it back and forth. But yeah, I'll explain more once I wash these. So stay tuned, guys. Just put them in your sink and just wash them thoroughly. You don't have to take these metal pieces. Just set these aside with your screws. These are really important, so do not lose any of them. There's two of them in total, so try not to lose either of them. And I know I just threw one of them aside like a retard, but I'll be back. Alright guys, while that's drying, I just use a sink or whatever. There's more water to work with, and it'll probably get more clean than a wet towel or wet napkin or Q-tips or cotton swabs or whatever. So I highly recommend using a sink to wash all the plastic and rubber in the controller. Now let's get to the more important part, because this is way more important than just looks. Now just get a dry napkin and a wet napkin. I forgot to include this in the beginning of the video. I'm more of an improv person, and I don't really think before I say anything in the video. I kind of come up with stuff on the spot. I'm not really a scripted person. But what you're going to do is clean these 12 black pieces or black portions on the circuit board. There's also two single pieces on the side. Pretty much are the shoulder buttons. Just be very careful. They're pretty much soldered onto with two wires. Not a wire. I probably said a wire, but it's actually two. But be very careful with those. So let's get started. Sometimes some people will drop soda into these controllers, and I'll probably ruin them, especially if they instantly try to use it to see if it works. It'll probably short out the circuit board. And also to dry or whatever, you don't have to use anything fancy like a static or please static cloth or whatever. You don't have to use that. That's only if it's on. There's like really no risk of it ever shorting out the circuit board unless you're playing it while using, or pretty much washing it or cleaning it and using the controller while it's while the Super Nintendo's powered on. That's the only way you can probably short out. So be very careful with this piece on here, or this separate piece. Well, my napkin's not really wet anymore, so it's kind of damp. So you don't have to pretty much use a dry cloth or a dry napkin. There's kind of some dirt on there. I'm not sure if my camera will pick it up, but yeah. So there you go, guys. I'm gonna show you guys this real quick. This is the pieces that are drying right now. I'm just letting them air dry. I'm not using a hair dryer or whatever. I'm just letting them air dry, like I've said once. So these are just start and select. I'm not sure what piece this is or belongs to, as well as this. These are the shoulder buttons, L and R. The rubber pieces to the L and R buttons. The plastic pieces for A, B, and X and Y. And the D-pad. Now this is pretty kind of funny. Well, it's kind of funny to me. But it still has not really instructions, but it still has a layout and new layout of the US or the United States or North American release of the Super Nintendo controller. It says purple right there and lavender right there, so pretty much saying these two are going to be purple and these two are going to be lavender. And also it says yellow, so this is going to be the yellow button. This one is the green button. This one's the blue one, and this one's the red one. So it pretty much has a Super Famicom button layout and stuff. So that was kind of funny to me. So that's kind of awesome. And some of the plastic will eventually age, so you can probably see. Sorry if I'm making it look upside down or whatever, but it will age, and especially if there's a smoker, it'll probably affect the controller condition. Or if you're a smoker, and you'll probably see some aging and yellowing of old Super Nintendo or Nintendo or even N64 or pretty much anything that's plastic. It'll probably affect the plastic. But yeah, so I'm gonna let it air dry, and then afterwards I'm gonna show you guys how to put it back together. So stay tuned, guys. Alright, guys, back once again. Now you can just pretty much put everything back in place. Make sure these buttons do not have any water in them. Just like hit it gently on a piece of paper or whatever to make sure it's dry in there. So pretty much it tells you where the buttons go. These two are for lavender and these two are for purple, so just make sure they fit. Just mess around with them, make sure they fit. You don't have to use any force. And if they don't fit on one, they probably fit on the other one. So I'm not sure why they did that, but there you go. Now just put these rubber pieces, I'd say right here, which is probably the same space or the same place it was at. So yeah, just actually put those there. I'll just correct that if I'm wrong. Now these pieces right here, they're the metal pieces. I think they belong right here. Yeah, they're right there. Put them right there. On these two. There's actually two opposite sides. So just put those right there. And this one is well, this one's R button. There's actually, well, you obviously know there's an L and R button, and it'll say L or R. So let's see. I'm in a different perspective. So this is the right one. So we're just gonna put it through this metal piece right here, and just kind of lift this plastic piece up and push it down. Same thing with this piece right here. So that's pretty much how you put it back together. Now let me cut right here, and I'm not even sure if I showed how to clean this part, so if I did not, you're gonna watch it again. Alright guys, sorry about that. I was unaware or unsure if I recorded that part or not, even though it's the most important part of the video, and I did record it, so that's a good thing. So let's get started once again. So grab your circuit board and kind of gently put it over the rest of the controller, and they'll fall into place. Just move it around a little bit. You don't have to use any force at all. So now that everything's like super flat, you can tell. And if you get kind of a lift, that means the rubber is kind of pushing the circuit board more up, and just kind of fix it. Now the shoulder buttons are a different thing. You just pretty much have to push them down a little bit to make sure they fit. That one was kind of lifting up, but I'm not sure if my camera caught it. But now everything's in place. There's actually a serial number right here. So if you're going to sell one to a customer or a friend or someone, anyone in general, you pretty much have a serial number to back your story up. If they kind of lie to you and they took it apart and stole some pieces or parts, even the circuit board, you swapped it, whatever, whatnot, you have proof because you have the serial number right here. So there you go. Now all you have to do, well, I forgot this step, just say this step, but the same thing with the NES controller. You pretty much have to wrap your controller cord around these pieces of plastic sticking out, and that kind of lifted up a little bit the right shoulder button. But yeah, and just make sure everything's in place. Just kind of push it down more. Now this, I kind of messed around with it, so I have to make sure it's 100% in, and it is in. So I'm good to go. So pretty much grab your back piece and just put it over. And if you get a simple squeeze, or not really a squeeze, but a fit, sometimes it will kind of be lopsided or whatnot on some part of the controller. And just test out the buttons. Make sure they're kind of, well, let me do this upside down. Just kind of make sure they kind of get like a ricochet like a normal controller would. If it's not in place, everything's not in place, you won't get a ricochet at all, just fall down. But everything seems to be going good. So I'm just going to test it out and show you guys some gameplay from whatever game I want to play, or just to show you. So let's get started. Alright guys, I'm going to be testing out this controller on Super Metroid, or Metroid 3. Let's see if it works. Pretty much have to use the same force or strength you would on the rubber start and select buttons. So select and Y and start are working good enough. Right and left, up and down are working. L is working. R and A are working. X is working. So pretty much every button is working on this whole controller. Well, every button is working. So I've been trying to get into this game. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And if I've helped you in any way, just please let me know in the comment section. But yeah, I've been trying to get into this game. So anyways, thanks for watching this video, guys. Please leave suggestions. I want to hear from you guys if you want me to do either the NES, the whole system, take it apart and clean it, the N64, take it apart and clean it, the Super Nintendo, take it apart and clean it, or the N64 controller, take it apart and clean it. Whatever you guys want me to do. If I have it, I'll probably do it. I'm letting you guys vote. Let me know what you guys want me to take apart and clean. If I have it, I'll take it apart and clean it, and do a tutorial video on how to do it. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Please share this video as much as possible, and yeah, leave a suggestion if you want to, or just let me know if this helped you out in any way. I've said that twice, but anyways, later, guys.